This episode of Dan 3.0 is brought to you by Carbonite Online Backup. Start your free trial at carbonite.com. Sun Chao Taiyue. That was a fun one, although I probably messed it up somehow. Anyway, super special thanks to YouTube username BassSinger313 for teaching me how to say hey world in Vietnamese. I have made a list of things that I want to talk about and do today, and the first thing that I would like to talk about is a task that was submitted 20 hours ago. It was submitted by Revision 3 username Lord Flashheart, and it's called Less Talking Head. It says, show more activity video and less of you sitting in your apartment. The narration is fine, just show more of what you were actually doing while you talk about what you did. And since that was submitted 20 hours ago, it has seen 97% approval from 35 votes, so assuming that that's a pretty representative sample, I'll agree with you guys. I agree. Last episode was a wee little bit too talky, so I'm just letting you know that I know that you know that that was the case, and I'll adjust how I do things accordingly. Now, I have a little bit more that I want to talk about, but in the spirit of less talking, more doing, let's put some stuff on my wall and then come back to this. This is from Shay. This is from Noah. This is from Dan. This is from Ben. It's the same Ben who sent the really long banner of the subscribe wrap last week. He sent this smaller version so that things could be easier for me. That's very courteous of you, Ben. This is from Brando. This is from Daniel. This is from Aaron. This is from Michael. This is from Hank. And this is from Ana in Madrid, Spain. Oh, and snap, I've forgotten about these for the last, month. When I went to visit Tad Shackles, he gave me this to put on the wall, so thanks to that. And when Karen Cavett was here, she gave me this and this to put on my wall. So I forgot for a long time, but I'm putting them on my wall now. These are my hands. If you have something you want me to put on my wall some week, please send it to Revision 3, attention Dan Brown, Suite 232. Wait, I messed that up. Revision 3, attention Dan Brown, 2415 3rd Street, Suite 232, San Francisco, California, 94107. And just a note about Wall Wednesday stuff. If you send me something on a sheet of 8x11 standard printer paper, if you would cut out the areas that, where there's nothing going on, that would save me a whole heck of a lot of time when I do this. I mean, you don't have to, I'll still put it up, but it would just make my life that much easier. For example, if you do a wonderful doodle of an old man face like this, I would rather not see this much white space around it. This would be preferable. Okay, I love you. Thanks. Moving on. Ooh, and a package just showed up at my doorstep. I ordered a Magic 8 Ball. Yeah. Oh, great Magic 8 Ball. Should I tell the viewers why I have you? Outlook good. Alright, I guess that means I should tell you. I ordered this for a task called Personal Decision Engine, where I'm supposed to take an entire day and spend that day using the Magic 8 Ball to make all of my decisions. That day is, however, not today. Today, there are just a few things that I would like to get accomplished. On the non-Dan 3.0 front, I have this giant and ever-growing mound of mail. Not viewer mail, mind you, but real mail with real important life stuff in it. Some of these letters are a month old and say things like, open immediately! And that's had the opposite effect as to what was intended. That it freaks me out and scares me and has actually caused me to procrastinate opening the mail. And it's a never-ending cycle. The longer I procrastinate, the bigger the pile grows, the more intimidating the pile becomes, and the more nervous I am about the pile, and the more inclined I am to procrastinate. But you know what? Screw you, pile. Today I am dealing with you. Today I am getting caught up. Today you die. As for the D3POer side of things, at the beginning of this project, I'm talking about the first week or so, I did a great job accepting a bunch of tasks. a bunch of tasks. Like, in hindsight, way more tasks than I probably should have accepted. See, a lot of the tasks that I accepted, even on the very first day of this project, are things that now, 7 months later, I still haven't taken any steps toward completing. So today, I would like to begin just kind of chipping away. 7 months ago, Revision 3 username ZAJ submitted a task called Meet Dan Brown. But not me, the author. 88% of 645 people liked the idea, and so I accepted it, and haven't done anything with it. And 8 months ago, have I really been doing this for 8 months? Time flies when you're making a web show. 8 months ago, Revision 3 username Mishi submitted a task called Meet Barack Obama in person. 83% of 945 people approve, and so I accepted it, and I haven't done anything. I just dropped my remote. I accepted the task and have since done nothing to accomplish it. So here's the game plan. Today I am going to write one letter to Barack Obama and one letter to Dan Brown, just kind of taking that first step, reaching out, saying, hey, I'd like to meet you sometime, and we'll just see where things go from there. I shall check back in with you this evening to read aloud the letters I have written. It's late. And I'm tired. The good news is that I made some serious progress in dealing with that mound. I know earlier I said that I was going to kill it today, and it's obviously not totally dead, but it's seriously maimed. I'm feeling a lot less stressed out about it, which is definitely a good thing. The bad news is that I've got some writer's block going on. I started working on these letters to Dan Brown and Barack Obama a couple hours ago, and at first things were going really well, but now for the last 45 minutes I've just been blankly staring at the paper going, what do I want to say next? So I'm gonna go to bed, then I'll wake up early and see if I can't finish these letters. Regardless of whether or not I finish them tomorrow morning, I will read you whatever I have. I think I might be overthinking them. There's a significant chance that I'm overthinking this. A good night's sleep will do me well. Particularly my letter to President Obama. Part of me wants to impress him, but on the other hand, I don't want to come across as cocky, but on the other hand, I don't want to come across as so insignificant that he wouldn't even spend his time reading my letter. I'm overthinking it. Bed. Except, before I go to bed, this arrived in the mail today. Training for the Pogo record can now begin in earnest. I'm not going to spend any more time in this episode talking about that because this episode's going to be long enough as it is, but on Friday, I will share with you some of my ideas about how to move forward on the Pogo sticking front. Delicious. I'm doing weird things. I need to go to bed. Okay, it is morning. I had a good night's sleep. I've spent the last hour and a half or so, or actually, spent another 2 hours working on this letter to the president. Everything takes more time than I think it will. That's the story of my life. And I've got some weird sinusy stuff going on, so if my nose sounds like it's plugged up, that's because my nose is kind of plugged up. Anyway, letter to Barack Obama. Here's what I have so far. Let me read it to you. I typed it up. I think that one of the problems with last night was I was trying to just write it, so I had to get it perfect the first time, and that was just dumb. That was dumb. Mr. President, my name is Dan Brown. I'm 20 years old and just moved from Lincoln, Nebraska to San Francisco, California for an internet show / project / social experiment I'm doing called Dan 3.0. I've been a video blogger for the better part of 4 years. I got started in 2007 with a tutorial on how to solve the Rubik's Cube, began vlogging regularly in 2008, and over time have grown an audience of over 250,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've posted almost 500 videos spanning all sorts of topics and styles. Some have been just plain silliness, but others have included vlogs about the 2008 election cycle, documenting a month-long trip to China I took with the University of Nebraska, and starting a discussion about the current state and potential future of higher education. The project I'm working on right now, Dan 3.0, is a bit of a change of pace. Essentially, I'm letting my audience control my life for the year. Anyone can submit an idea into what we call the decision engine as to something they think I should do. Submitted ideas are then voted upon by the masses, and I do my best to carry out the highest rated ideas. Sometimes I wind up doing little things like making a rubber band ball or rolling down a hill. Other times I wind up doing big things like going on a 10,000-mile cross-country road trip or attempting to break the world record for most consecutive pogo stick bounces. One of the tasks I'm working on right now has the self-explanatory title, Meet Barack Obama in Person.
person. This is, as you've probably already guessed, the reason I am writing. I understand that your time is extremely valuable, and should you decline to meet with me, I would not be heartbroken in the least. Please consider, however, that my audience consists largely of smart, independent thinking high school and college-aged young Americans. Seeing you participate in Dan 3.0 in some way, shape, or form, be it an actual meeting, a presidential decision engine submission, or even simply a response to this letter, wouldn't hurt your standing in the eyes of the Dan 3.0 audience. Some of my viewers even live in swing states. Just throwing that out there. So yeah, that's what I have. I feel like there needs to be some sort of a conclusion. I'm kind of at a loss as to how to end it. I will paste the full text of the letter in the doobly-doo down below. And like I said in the letter, you guys are smart. Can you proofread it for me? Post a comment letting me know how you think I should end it, and with any proofready changes that you think should be made. I will finish this letter based on your feedback and get it mailed off to the president in the next episode. As for the Dan Brown letter, I haven't made any progress on it since last night, but I will work on it. I will read it to you in a future episode, but I'm not nearly as nervous about this one, so I'm not going to be quite as nitpicky. I mean, Dan Brown, don't get me wrong, he's an important person and he has a very cool name, but he's not quite as important of a person as the President of the United States, and his name actually isn't quite as cool as the name of the President of the United States. Actually, I take that back. Dan Brown's a cooler name. Gotta represent. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm hungry. I want some lunch. So I'm gonna go do that.
This episode of Dan 3.0 has been made possible by Carbonite Online Backup. Eventually, you are probably going to have some sort of a computer disaster. Your computer will crash, or get stolen, or die in a fire, or get sick of you watching too many cat videos and just up and leave. But if you have Carbonite Online Backup, your files will be backed up safely off-site automatically, so you can get them back. Carbonite costs just $55 a year for unlimited backup to your PC or Mac. And if you use the offer code POGOBAT to start your 15-day free trial, you will get 2 months free should you decide to buy. All of the details can be found at Carbonite.com. Once again, a super huge thank you to Carbonite. Anywho, that just about does it for me for today. Thank you oh so very much for watching this episode of Dan 3.0. Tune in again on Friday, if you please. I'm on my way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. I'm taking my time, but I don't know where.